Hey Gary, Dennis Feiner. Hey, nice chatting with you yesterday, and I did get your link to the questionnaire that you filled out. So I want to go through estimating fairly quickly because I need to see how you estimate today. I'm going to assume Excel, and I don't have any welding ones in here. I wish I did. Let me find something in here real quick. You know what? I'm going to do this one. Just uh, not your business, but we work off assemblies and parts, which your Excel's could probably have a bunch of parts in the spreadsheet. But what we have here, and again, once we get down there, or if you can send me an Excel spreadsheet with one of your estimates, I can recreate this in here so it'll make more sense for you. But you know, in this case, we're going to install, like when you go into Albertsons or Safeway or whatever, you'll see a door, and so this is how we install the door. On this set of plans, we had four, and I need 4 hours of supervision for each one. I need 12 hours of tech to put each one in, one door assembly, one door slider, etc. So if you have welds and you know that each one of those welds requires X minutes of supervision time, so much of a welder, so much for welding supplies, so much for the welding machine rental, etc., then those components are created here, and then no matter what you put up here, whether it's 440, 400, it's going to calculate out your extended quantity, very similar, I bet, to your Excel, etc. But the best part is that once it's done, I can export this to the budget. I can now create purchase order to buy those supplies that I need. And if I am subcontracting something to somebody, I can actually create the subcontracts all from here. So it's fully integrated not only to the accounting but to project management as well. So if you can send me a sample estimate, I can go ahead and recreate that for you so you can see it in your terms. So the next thing is our project management covers a lot of things, and so um, I know you know this, but I always have to say this. You can always pause this to look at the screen for a little bit longer, but job reports, there's a little over 100 different job reports. Full change order management, purchase orders, subcontracts, cost to complete analysis. You would use that. Document control, which is more project management, a little bit more in depth, which RFPs, RFIs, transmittals, submittals, daily field reports, punch list. That information is in the document control piece. But the nice part is in the cost to complete, and I think this might be the one used. I'll show you both, Gary, but I think this will be the one that you're going to like. And by the way, I've been a controller and a CFO for, well, I was for a long, long time, and I've owned this company for 12 years. But my background's accounting, controller, companies with up to eight. I think we had 800 employees at the peak when we were really going. But your items in here, it could be prepare for welding, dismantling, whatever those are, those task codes that you track. This is the budget that you have to do it, and these are the hours that are coming through payroll. And so I can see if I'm going to be what I need to complete that based on the percent that I'm actually complete. And then I get an over under hours analysis for each item on each job. So this is something that you'll be using, or actually your project managers will have access to it as well. The other one that, and I'm a concrete guy, and I like unit cost only because it's the way I did it for 20 years. So I'm just going to use an example here. I'll go to line number 2. And so we budgeted $12,000, which you should have that number from your Excel or wherever how you're estimating today. I have some number of units. It could be number of welds. It could be number of feet. I don't care as long as it's measurable. And this is the cost that's gone through the system, whether it be materials, subcontract, labor with fully burdened labor going through there. And then I only want one thing. I want the guy in the field to tell me how many have you got done on, as at the end of Friday. And I'm just going to make it a different number here. I'll make this 110. So now if I go across this line item, you can see I budgeted $81, basically $80.50 to do it, but it's costing me $86.26. I'm over by this unit, and again, a little bit more on the cost to complete. But the key here is that at the end of the job, I can go in here and say, wow, I budgeted 85, it cost me 137. I budgeted 80, it cost me 86. Wow, I got a good item here. But if I go back and look at 3 or 4 jobs as an estimator, and I'm still bidding 85 on this job, and at every job before this cost me 130, 140 to do, I can't bid 85 anymore. And so this is going to give great feedback to your estimators to make sure that they have the right unit cost in the next bid. Anyway, that's a couple of my favorite job cost reports there. I'm looking here. So subcontract seems like it's important to you. So well, I'll just show you. I'll show you the report that you're going to get out, which is the best part. Because I used to have to do this by hand all the time. So what you're looking at is what we call our subcontract audit. It happens to be for one job, job number 27. Happens to be for vendor number 12. In this case, job 27 is Doug's Castle. 12 is our Samson Electrical, our electrical contractor. These are the 3 line items that he had on his original subcontract. So he had a subcontract at the day the job was awarded for $2,900. We've both signed change order number 1, so it takes his contract up to $3,400. And I have a change order that I've sent out, but he has not returned yet for $1,850. So when he returns that, I know that his contract will be that amount. And I can look at the invoices that he's invoiced me for, and I can see right here that they're still sitting in AP. So I don't have to go running around asking a lot of questions or running a lot of reports. It's just about everything I need to know about this subcontract on this job is right here. And so I'm going to get out of that real quick. Full change orders, but I do want to show you a couple job cost reports here. This one here is probably my favorite. I'm trying to remember. I think you guys are on QuickBooks now. So in QuickBooks, you'd have these first couple columns. You'd have your cost codes. You call them items. We happen to call them cost codes. This is the budget plus approved change orders. This is the cost budget, not your sales price, but your budget to do it. This is what I've incurred to date as far as cost. Committed contracts are all of my subcontracts that have been written but not been invoiced for yet. And same thing on purchase order. All the purchase orders are outstanding, but we have not been invoiced for yet. The nice part is if I want to come down to one of these items and go, wow, how did I spend $12,000? I can double click that, and it's going to show me all of the different entries that make up that $12,000. And if I want, I can actually drill back one more layer to the actual AP entry. What the problem with QuickBooks is that you're sitting here. Let's look at line 3200 here. So if you're in QuickBooks today, you had a $4,000 budget and you spent $2,600. Everybody thinks everything's okay. But the problem is that somebody in your company is issued a subcontract to complete this work for another $2,000. So, looking at QuickBooks and in a budget report, you'd think that you're okay to the tune of about $1,400. But the bottom line is when this job is said and done, you're actually going to be about $600 upside down because you have commitments out there that are not being recorded in QuickBooks or what have you. So another report. But anyway, 139 cost reports, if I remember correctly. So lots of things in there. Let me look at my list real quick. So one of the things you had as an unlimited transactions. Yeah, I mean, I've got a company in San Marcos. Their jobs probably are smaller than yours, but at the peak, they're a subcontractor in the home building industry, and at the peak, they were doing probably 10 or 12,000 houses a year, and so lots of items on each one of those. Oh, you want to see the bonding report? I'll do that. I showed you the committed cost, the actual man hours compared to budget. We looked at that. I'm not going to show you certified payroll, but it's about 2 or 3 mouse clicks to do that. Payroll, you have about a lot of different ways to enter it. You can have them enter timesheets daily, enter timesheets weekly, enter them in the daily field reports and import those hours into the payroll. We can do that. So let me get back into the bonding and working process, which I think you're going to like. So under job reports, I've got an over and under billing and a bonding report. I'm going to look at the over and under billing because it has the same information. going to run this for everything but my 0 jobs. Hey, before I do that, Gary, if you look up top right-hand corner, I can print this. I can preview it on the screen, which is what I'm about to do, or I can dump this thing out to Excel if you want to massage it around a little bit. And most of us controllers like to massage it at least a little. And so there's your over and under billings, over bill column, under bill column, estimated costs to complete. So it should look very similar to what you're probably doing in Excel today, except for me it was about that simple. It was about 2 mouse clicks to get to this point. And so that's that. The bonding report is the same information, just kind of make sure I have everything I need in here. I want this to be 12. I'm just going to do a couple jobs. Again, current contract, current budget. So anyway, it's very similar to what the other one had, except it's the way the bonding company likes it. So that's that. I'm trying to think. Man hours, change orders. I'm not going to show you. We do change orders really well. I'm just going through your must-haves. Yeah, so if you're on QuickBooks, and I'm 99% sure you are, we can bring in a lot of information from QuickBooks. First, easiest, all your vendors, your clients, your employees, your job list, your cost codes, all those master file things. Those are really easy. Since you're coming up in the middle of the year, we probably would encourage you to use the next level of import, because I think you had 200 employees. We can actually bring in on your go live date year-to-date earnings and withholdings for all your employees, your 1099 balances for your vendors, job-to-date balances, both billings and cost. It's not going to break the bank, but the size of your company, you don't want to be keying in 200 employees year-to-date earnings. I mean, we can do that electronically for about a couple $100, I think it is. So we can get down to the nuts and bolts when we get closer, but hopefully this makes sense. It's probably spurred a bunch more questions for you. So my phone number is 800-659-5851, or you can send me an email. But anyway, take a look at this, pass it around to anybody else you want to take a look at it, CPA, people in your company. Glad to do an online demo with you to answer some more questions. And just let us know how we can do the next step. But I think this will be a good fit for you guys. And I don't think you'll outgrow it. I mean, I see you're at about 200 employees. Is that what I read? Hang on a second here. 200 employees. 200, no problem. 300, no problem. 400, no problem. You get over 400, 500, we may want to look at Timberline, but that'd probably take a lot of growth on your part to get up to 500 employees. And even then, you may not have to. I've got another specialty sub, and obviously, Gary, nobody's big as they are, big as today as they were years ago, but they were also a home builder, and they were up around 800 employees, and they were running their payroll through, at that time it was called Master Builders, now Sage 100, but they were doing 800 employees, and I don't think they had any issues at all. I mean, they never called me. When I asked them about it, they said they weren't having any issues on speed or anything, so I think you're going to be okay. Anyway, give me a call. I'd love to go out, love to get online with you, answer your questions, and if you want, I can come out there to see you guys. Thanks.